The iPhone Air didn't just fail to take off, it took something else down with it. Apple's new ultra-thin iPhone may have killed off one of the most balanced, practical phones the company ever made, the iPhone Plus. And honestly, a lot of people already miss it. Let's unpack what happened and why Apple's obsession with thinness might have just made the iPhone lineup worse for everyone. So, the iPhone Air, Apple's latest experiment in sleekness, incredibly thin, incredibly light, and apparently incredibly unwanted. Early reports say demand for the iPhone Air is almost non-existent. But that's not the biggest story here. The real loss is the iPhone Plus, the perfect middle ground in Apple's lineup that quietly disappeared when the Air arrived. For years, the Plus model filled a sweet spot. You got a big display, great battery life, and flagship-level performance, all without having to spend Pro Max money. It wasn't flashy or experimental, it just worked. For $899, the iPhone Plus gave you most of what people actually wanted in a phone: a big screen, reliable camera, and unbeatable endurance. But now, that space is gone. When Apple announced the iPhone 17 series, the Air took the Plus's spot. Except it wasn't a fair trade at all. The Air costs $100 more, has just one camera, worse battery life, and even a smaller 6.5-inch display. Basically, you're paying more for less, unless you really care about having the thinnest iPhone ever made. And if you're someone who just wants a large-screen iPhone with great battery life, you're out of luck. Your only option now is the iPhone Pro Max, starting at $1,200. That's a $300 jump from where the Plus used to sit. So in the process of chasing thinness, Apple effectively erased the middle-tier iPhone, leaving a gap between the $799 base model and the $1,099 Pro. Why would Apple do that? Well, as usual, it comes down to numbers. Reports show that the iPhone 16 Plus accounted for only about 9% of sales in its lineup, roughly the same as the iPhone 15 Plus. In Apple's eyes, that's a model not pulling its weight. And the reasoning actually makes some sense on paper. The Plus was too expensive to be a budget-friendly option, but not premium enough to attract those who'd spend a bit more for the Pro. Customers either saved money and bought the base model, or spent more and got the Pro. The Plus was stuck in the middle, too practical for enthusiasts, too pricey for casual users. So Apple axed it and bet on the iPhone Air to fill that space. The problem is, the Air appeals to an even smaller audience. Ultra-light, ultra-thin phones are niche. They look cool in ads, but most people don't want to sacrifice battery life and performance for something that's a millimeter thinner in the hand. And Apple isn't the only one caught in this trap. Samsung might be following the same playbook. Rumors suggest the upcoming Galaxy S26 lineup will also lose its Plus model, replaced by a new Galaxy S26 Edge. Sound familiar? Like Apple's Air, Samsung's Edge is a sleek, curved, futuristic-looking device, but not necessarily one that most people asked for. If that's true, we could soon see both Apple and Samsung ditch their most practical models in favor of thinner, trendier, and more expensive ones. Which is ironic because both the iPhone Air and the Galaxy S25 Edge have struggled with demand. Samsung even cut back production of its Edge model after poor sales. So what's really going on here? It feels like the smartphone industry has run out of meaningful ways to innovate. Performance, cameras, and displays are already excellent across the board, so the new frontier has become design, particularly thinness. But that's a problem because at some point thinness stops adding value and starts taking things away, like battery capacity, durability, and even basic usability. We've seen this movie before. Remember the iPhone Mini? Apple tried to sell a compact flagship, realized people didn't actually want smaller phones, and quietly killed it after 2 generations. The same thing could easily happen to the iPhone Air if sales stay weak. And if it does, maybe we'll see the Plus make a comeback, just like rumors are already hinting for the iPhone 18 series. It's funny, for years, the Plus models from both Apple and Samsung were the safe choice. They weren't the most exciting, but they gave you everything you needed without compromise. They were the sweet spot for people who just wanted a solid, big-screen phone without the Pro Max or Ultra price tag. And now, that segment seems to be disappearing. So here's the question. Do we actually want thinner phones or just better ones? Because right now, the industry seems more interested in chasing headlines than in making practical devices that suit real people's needs. Personally, I'd take a slightly thicker phone with great battery life and a second camera over a super thin design any day. A phone you don't have to charge twice a day is way more useful than one that slips easily into your jeans pocket. Maybe Apple and Samsung will realize that too, if the sales numbers push them hard enough. Because in the end, nothing forces a course correction faster than losing money. Until then, the iPhone Air might go down in history not as the next big thing, but as the phone that accidentally killed one of the most well-balanced models Apple ever made. The iPhone Plus didn't get a flashy send-off. It just quietly disappeared. And a lot of people are starting to realize how much they miss it. What's your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments section. See you in the next video. Take care.